Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am the Inconsequential Runner, joined here again with Coach Mark. Coach Mark, thank you for coming along.
Hey, no worries, Darcy. Always good to chat.
Coach Mark, you know how this works. But for those of you that happen to be joining us for the first time, welcome. This is how this works. Coach Mark is an esteemed coach, and what we do is we, as runners, ask Coach Mark a question that we want an answer to as runners. So it's from a runner's perspective, asking a coach. Now, today, what we've got for you, Coach Mark, is talking about what is it if someone's looking to get a coach, and we've talked in previous videos about what are the benefits of coaching, but if someone's looking to engage a coach, what sort of questions should they expect that a good coach would ask them in terms of tailoring a plan? And just before you get into that, Coach Mark, what I can say is there's a huge benefit in a tailored plan. There's a world of difference. Even if the plan feels similar that you might get from a coach to what you've been doing, the huge difference is, well, there's a huge number of differences. For me, it's being more accountable and giving feedback. The other thing to the coach at the end of the week in terms of how the program went, what you did, how you found it. The other thing is, for me, it took away from a lot of boredom. It gave me purpose. So rather than me running under my own edict in terms of what the run was going to be on any particular day, I could be doing that very same run, but the fact that someone's asking me, my coach is asking me to do it, it gave me purpose, which meant it was easier to get out the door to do the run, and easier to perform the run, no matter how boring it looks on paper. So there were some huge benefits, and Coach Mark, if people are going to engage with a coach, what are the questions a good coach is going to ask them? Let's give them a heads up. Let's give our team a heads up on what those questions are likely to be. Coach Mark, where would a coach start?
Well, it's really important for me to gain the information of what the actual goal is that the runner's aiming for.
Yep.
So that's probably the first thing I need to know. I need to know their current level. So I can easily gain that by just asking their personal best over a range of distances, or if there aren't any sort of standard distant personal bests or anything to hand, recent results in various events, then it's quite easy for me to research and see where that fits and how that, or just because it's really important that I don't pitch it too high to start with. It's got to be an achievable level to start with, and then build from there.
Yeah. I imagine if someone had a whole lot of parkrun data, that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parkrun's great. Yes, I can easily look at that, and that gives me a really good idea. And it gives me a good idea as well, because I can marry that up with their goals and see if are realistic, or they could actually perhaps be a bit more optimistic based on their current level. I also need to see what they're currently doing as well. What their longest run is recently. There's no point me saying, "What, I want you to get out for an hour this weekend," and they go, "I've only done 20 minutes. It's the longest I've done the last 6 weeks," or something like that. So again, it gives me a picture of what the athlete wants to achieve and where they're currently at.
Yeah.
So that's the other one. So I want to know what their longest run is, and I want to know what their current level of activity is. They might say, "Okay, at the moment I run on a Tuesday, a Thursday, Saturday, and a Sunday, for example, and I go to the gym on a Monday, and I might do yoga on a Wednesday." Or something like this. So I want a picture of everything that they're doing, so that I can fit it all in, because it's really important that I'm able to fit the program into their life, their lifestyle. We're not professional athletes, so we have lots of other things going on. And if someone's to be consistent and stay motivated and injury free and keep out that momentum, we need to pitch it at a realistic level. So that's a very easy way for me to gain a snapshot of that.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. And balance, yeah, as you point out, it's super important. I imagine too, someone doesn't need, there might be a lot of people that don't have GPS watches,
No.
so they don't need hard data. They just need to give you an indication of how often they're running and around about how far they go or how long they run for. That's enough for you to be able to start to produce that balanced program for them.
Yeah. Because a key part of my coaching is feedback while they're actually doing the training. So once you get people started, then you're getting that feedback, and that's where you tweak things. I can quite easily gauge if I'm pitching it too high or too low, or they thought they could maybe run 5 days a week. It turns out that's a bit of a struggle at the moment. 4 days is more realistic. So it's a case of then we can tweak things, but it gives me the starting point that based on what I've been told, it should be a level that someone can confidently start at and move up from there. So another thing, obviously, really key is injuries. I need to know if anyone's getting injuries or niggles, because again, that lets me know of any sort of warning signs, or I can look at any patterns, what might have caused the injuries, and I can look out if this injury is cropping up again, or what's happening there, or what the person's doing about the injury as well. So again, that gives me very, very quick and easy information to tailor program for them.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, that's actually
that's pretty much it. Yeah, not a lot of information, really. Yeah.
So what are we talking in terms of a conversation? I mean, it sounds like most of that can be run through in around about 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's not overly arduous.
No. For some people, in fact, they just send me that back, and unless there's something we particularly need to chat about further about that, I can then just work out a program based on that, get them started, and then we can chat as we go.
Of course. Yeah, it's not a one and done.
That's often more effective, because if I pitch it at the right level, based on the data I've been giving, it's something they'll be able to handle. So it's not going to be outlandish or unachievable. So yeah, and then from there we can go. So it's quite an easy process, really. It's not like a lot of forms you have to fill out for various things.
That's perfect. So as long as you understand their goals, what the current level of running is, their recent sort of PBs, what other activities they're doing in terms of gym work and yoga, making sure that we're working with that, how many days a week that they can commit to it to make sure we've got that balanced program, and other things to help tailor it in terms of injuries and other things we need to be conscious of. Doesn't sound like it, and they don't need the hard data. So if someone's watching this and you don't have all your data recorded on a GPS watch, doesn't matter. It just needs to be indicative, because as you say, Coach Mark, you continue to tailor the plan as we start to understand the runner. Then that's a great start. And the other thing I'd add from personal experience is, if it's about your goals, if you want to achieve your goals, if you're just, and I'm going to say just a park runner, because when I say just, what I mean is you don't want to be, elite, and you don't want to be running 100+ kilometers a week and stuff like that. But park run's your thing, and it gets you going every week. And I know that because I was there and I've been there. But you want to go from, it might be 27 minutes to run that sub 25. That's where a coach comes in. Don't think a coach is just for those that you would perceive as elite. It's not. It's for everybody who's got a goal and they want help achieving the goal. And the last thing I'll say then is, if you want to get in contact with Coach Mark, who I think is a great coach and is my coach, so I'm a bit jealous about this. I don't want you all sort of getting in touch with Coach Mark, but Coach Mark's a great coach. His details are in the show notes just under this video. Click on that drop-down box, and Coach Mark's email address is there. Reach out. You know now what questions Coach Mark is going to ask you, or any other coach. that you pursue, but I don't think you can go wrong with Coach Mark. Coach Mark, hey, thank you for giving us that introduction, because I think it is important. For me, it took me years to get my head around getting a coach. And it's one of my big regrets. Like anything, once you find something good, you think, why didn't I do this before? So yeah. Anyway, Coach Mark, thank you so much for giving us that insight in terms of that initial engagement with a coach and the type of conversation that would have with a coach like yourself. Thanks so much, buddy.
Yeah, great stuff, Darcy. Happy to help.